Hey everyone, Tim here. I'm with my awesome team. You know, if you know them, you love them, but just want, in case you don't know them, I'm gonna introduce them. We got Bradley here. Hey Bradley.
Hey, what's up?
We got Ashley.
Hey.
And we got Jenny.
Hey.
We're so excited. Over the next 4 weeks, we get to gather around and we're gonna have conversations on generosity. We're partnering with our church-wide initiative called Deep and Wide, and our children are doing it, our adults are doing it, and so of course we want to be able to have this content for you as well, our students. So we're so excited for these conversations. We hope that you learn something. We hope that we're able to apply this to each one of our lives as we dig into Scripture and look to the Bible to see what it means for us to be generous as people who follow Jesus. And so each video, we're going to look at some different aspect of generosity. Today's lesson is focused on God as the first and most generous giver, and that we're going to look to Genesis 1, the creation story. And so I'm going to ask Jenny, if she would, to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 28 through 31.
Thanks. And God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And every beast on the earth, to build every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was an evening and there was a morning, the sixth day.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenny. So what we see here in the creation story is that God is an expression, this creation that he does in Genesis chapter 1 is an expression of his generosity. It's an expression of his love. What were some of y'all's takeaways from the scripture?
Yeah, in verse 31, it says, "It was very good." And of course, the Genesis account, we see this repetition of "it was good, it was good, it was good." And it's just such a great reminder of the way God gives, that God doesn't just give something. He didn't create and was like, "Oh, I'll keep the good stuff and I'll give humanity the all right stuff."
Yeah.
Like he creates, he's like, "Dude, this is awesome. I want you to have it." Like it's such a generous, like beautiful heart of God that we see.
That's good. That's good. What else did we see?
And also, he created all this before mankind. Like, he didn't even say, "Oh, here." No, he was like, "Oh, I'm creating all this. Now what's next?" It's really cool. He created for us with not being there.
Absolutely. Like he was generous before he even gave, really, which is just a crazy kind of thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Ashley, what'd you see?
Right, there's so many details in what God did, and there's purpose in giving us the beasts, and they can roam around and help with vegetation, you know, like poop or whatever. And then also there's the plants that we can eat, and the trees give us oxygen. Like God had purpose, and he knows our needs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a generous host. He's got the details down. He's got the purpose down. He looks at everything he's done. It's good. All right. It makes me think of like when you go to a party, right? And there's a generous host and they got the best spread. They got all the food. They got all the drinks. They got everything that you could possibly want. The candy bowl, the candy spread, everything. Like you literally go to this person's house. Maybe it's your grandma, maybe it's your friend's parents, whoever it is. And you just know that you will never be in lack. Like you know that everything is going to be there, and if you have a need, they're going to be able to provide for that need, right? And God in this beginning, right, Genesis chapter 1 is creating, and he's creating everything, and it's good, and it's out of abundance, and then he creates man and he hands it over. And so we're super excited to be able to dig more into that. But it made me think, all right, what is maybe the best gift that you have ever received? Let's say it's Christmas or it's your birthday. Or maybe for us parents, like what's the best gift that you've given your kids, right? And the joy on their face. So best gift that you've ever received, or maybe the best gift that you've ever given.
Dang, that's good. Yeah, so the best gift I ever got, probably I was like second, third grade. So I'm like 8 or 9 years old. And it was Christmas morning. And I opened up like a PlayStation controller.
Come on.
And I was like, "Oh, Mom, like this is for a PlayStation. Like I don't have one of those." And she was like, "Oh, sorry, sweetie. I thought you could put it in the computer." And then like a memory card, because back then we had memory cards for our consoles. And then like MLB 2K5, but for PlayStation, like all these. And I was like, "Oh, Mom, like none of this is gonna work on the computer." And she was like, "Oh, sorry, sweetie." And then the last box was a PlayStation 2. And it was just like, wow, like this all built up to this moment, which like I'm trying to make it deeper than it was. But like, dude, that gift was so dope.
Absolutely.
I played video games for the rest of my life.
Still
And
to this day.
To this day, PlayStation 2. I'm just cracked on it. So
Absolutely.
So I'm a mom and I have 2 boys, and they, like you, like video games. And so this was when the Wii first came out. And so this was like, you know, as a parent, like we had to get this Wii or Christmas would have been like a bust.
Yeah,
it would have
ruined.
sucked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been ruined.
Yeah.
And so David and I were like, you know, we're saving money. We're doing everything we could possibly, we get in line. And we're set, we have it all nice and wrapped. And, you know, that's going to be the last present they open because that's the best one.
Right.
Yeah.
So you put it towards the back of the tree and no name on it. So they're like,
Nope.
well, whose is this? And we're like, oh, I don't know.
Santa?
Yeah. I mean, no, Santa didn't bring this. Mom
Oh,
and Dad
okay.
brought
Hey,
this
that's a
gift.
good lesson.
Yeah,
That's true.
He didn't get credit
That's
for that
true.
one. And so,
That's good.
so
Good parenting tip right there. All right.
That one's for free.
good gifts come from the parents, not
Yes,
Santa
not
Claus.
Santa.
Okay. He gives the stockings. So Nicholas is opening the present and he is so excited. He like runs, and first of all, Nicholas is my more like low key.
Yeah, he's kinda quiet.
He's chill. Of course, he was like 8 or 9
Sure.
then, but still.
It's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he opens it up and he is like running around the
Come on,
house.
Nick.
Like he's like, "Wah!" And I'm like, as a mom and dad, you know, and my husband, we're just like so happy
Joy.
because it makes us so happy that he was
Absolutely.
literally
Yeah.
That's huge.
running around
Absolutely.
like a fool.
What comes to mind?
So when I was 16, our church was having a D Now that weekend, and so it was really cool because quality time is like a big deal to me. So I was with my friends the whole weekend. Not that that was my birthday present, but that was like a big deal. Well, after a long, crazy weekend, my parents were doing a surprise party for me. I didn't know that, so I wasn't looking the part, but that's okay because it's the love and it's a thought for it. So I like show up, I'm ready to sleep because I did ultimate frisbee, got tired. So I come home and there's tons of people,
Come on.
and they celebrated me. But also on top of that, they did like each did like a reason why they love me, and then they put a scrapbook together.
Oh,
It was like 16
wow.
reasons why. I also got a dog and a car and a phone.
Wow.
Not that
Whoa.
big. I know, it was kind of a big
my
deal birthday. But the gift was the 16 reasons why I love Ashley.
Absolutely.
Or the car.
Yeah, I mean,
Or the cat or the
there was
dog.
a lot.
Wow.
New
Wow.
house.
Humble brag.
I did not have a 16
I know.
like that.
The real gift were the friends we made along the way.
That's true. That's
Exactly.
true. That's a good
what I
word.
was trying to hit. Yeah, you got it.
And the
You got
dog and the cat. Yeah. This first lesson, we just want you to understand this idea of God as the first and most generous giver, right? Like Bradley said, on page 1, he created. And not only did he was very generous, but it was good stuff that he gave away. He didn't just give away the bad stuff or the things that weren't that valuable. It was good, it was good, it was good. And then he gave. Right, the illustration we talked about this generous host. You go over to your grandma's house or a friend's parents' house that has all the food, all the candy, everything. You're never in need. You're never in lack. You're never wanting
Queso
more.
don't run out.
Queso,
I love
yeah, come on. The best queso ever, right? You want that at the party because you're never in need. You're never like, oh, if only this was here. No, God is created from page 1, and he created all these things, and it's good. And he's this generous giver. He's the first giver, and he's a generous host, right?
Amen.
A generous host. And so when you go to that party, you're never wanting more. And so we want to have that right vision, that correct vision of who God is. And we hope over the course of these next few lessons, when we dig more into it, that we start living that out, right? That we start imitating and being a mirror of who God is in our everyday life. And so, man, it was a fun conversation. We're praying for your small groups as y'all get together with your peers and talk more about this idea of God being the first and most generous giver, a generous host. And yeah, we love that you're here, and thank you for tuning in.